Okay, I'm not sure how to go back to my YouTube and test and see if my audio is clear or not. But I think it should say that on automatic. I don't know. Let me check. Let me go to my... Wait, I think I'm able to go to my studio. Yeah. But it's gonna hook me up to the beta. And I don't see anything significant here. Like it's not telling me I'm live. Oh, there we go. Alright. Alright, well, I'm live in this joint. Don't know why everything is defaulted to be private every time I start a live video. That's some strange shit. But I need to check and see if this is playing like it should. Um... Alright, finally. Alright, excuse me for a moment because I'm going to go ahead and use the restroom and I'll be right back. I am back. So what I'm going to be talking about in a short burst is the man himself, who everyone seems to believe is going to win. I wouldn't say everyone, but it's a lot of folks. They seem to believe he's going to win this election. And I can't seem to understand this. The logic between somebody believing that since I'm going to be voting for this individual, let's go out to vote, and despite all the flaws that I see in voting for this individual, there are going to be some things that will be extreme in this country. Now, never mind the fact that if he wins, they're going to be even more extreme. But if he loses, they're still going to continue their extreme mindset. Now, what is this mindset they're going to be extreme with? Let me remind you that Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. Antifa is a terrorist organization. Ku Klux Klan was also denominated by Trump in 2000 and accepted to be a terrorist organization. I knew what was happening whenever I was on Call of Duty and I was playing it, and whenever I was playing it, they then wanted to say that we've changed the loading screen to Black Lives Matter and we stand in solidarity with blacks facing injustice all over the U.S. If you stood in solidarity with blacks facing injustice, wouldn't you have done anything about your community that's particularly consisting of people that will rather scream nigger as soon as something goes wrong, or if they want to be in a joking manner, that's the first thing they use? I'm the guy where I believe that if you are against something, you got to be against it all the way. You just can't be one-sided. I even deal with that whenever going to games like Rocket League, for that matter. And if you make a liberal upset, despite how much they think liberals are going to save blacks, guess what they're going to say to you whenever you make them upset enough? They're going to address you as one of those niggers. They seem to have this belief that since you are black, which necessarily you're not black, I don't know why the hell a brown skinned people addresses themselves as black, so to speak, but we'll just go with that narrative right now. They feel that if you don't vote for Biden, and Biden even said it himself, he's like, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You let this old, decrepit, wrinkling, forgetful pedophile tell you and determine your blackness by who you vote for and who you don't. And people believe that this is an idea that's sound, that would get him to win the votes. And he believes that he's going to win too. That's the reason why he came out of here in the middle of the election. He decided he wanted to say something before it was even done. something's up. You don't do that unless you are absolutely sure you're going to win. And if you are sure you're going to win, something is telling me that you've rigged the election before anything has even came into play. I don't want to bear false witness, but that's a possibility. What do you think will happen if, in the finals, Kevin Durant came out at the very beginning of whenever the finals are going to start, but they haven't started yet? But he came pre-game and said, I made it here tonight, but I appreciate the team that we're going to be facing today, but we're going to win this. Everybody will be looking like, wait, what? Wait a minute, huh? First of all, you're out here speaking to us about something you didn't even win yet. That's number one. Number two, where did this boost of confidence come from? Unless you're absolutely sure of this. Now again, you wouldn't necessarily represent that you're going to win unless you did something to make it so that you will win. And Biden came out, and in the middle of the election, he was very confident that he was going to get these states, almost as if this was rigged to happen. And I find it funny because despite that, even if he cheated, he still is undergoing a challenge. So you have, excuse me? Yeah, the numbers don't lie. Definitely they don't lie. Especially all them red that's in the states. All that red do not lie. Numbers don't lie. Results also do not lie. So that's something I noticed. And I look up here, and let me go ahead and put the election results right quick. And I'm going to show you some states that the majority of them are red, and I just can't really understand or come across why they feel the need to want to prolong this.
Because they probably think that he cheated. So they check it.
And here you go. You got Nevada. Literally all of it is red except Las Vegas and Reno. So, if Trump has literally the majority of Nevada being red, you should probably take into consideration that these people are sure who they voted for. I mean, they're not just saying, I think I want Trump, and I don't know, I can't really decide. No, they've already decided. But the Electoral College is also a fraudulent institution. Which brings me to this question. What is taking so long for people to actually take this stand to call out things like this? They are sure of what they want, but I don't think they're getting listened to as much as they want themselves to believe. I'm going to say it again. You're not taking a stand. You think you're getting listened to, but you're not, because, well, you've made a decision, and your decision is acknowledged, but it's also getting ignored right to this very moment. I don't know what's taking you so long to say, That guy stopped messing with our votes. But that's not what's happening right now. And I'm looking at these results. And the polls seem to believe that your boy is actually going to lose. Your boy Trump is actually going to lose. Now, to some people that might come here and watch my videos, they necessarily don't have to be fans of Trump, so to speak. I just want you to be American for the most part. And last I checked, this here is un-American. If you've made a conscious decision saying of who you're sure you want in office, one of the things I shouldn't look at is someone of that stature getting ignored. And a lot of them at that. And last I checked, there are 330 million people in the US of A right now. $300 million people in the US of A. You guys are overwhelming this so-called elite power globalist government. And instead of telling them that enough is enough, we're tired of you guys cheating the system and making certain people be elected officials to run for office whenever we didn't select them, you guys are just going with the okie doke. But before I go further with this, I will say first then, because YouTube has been a while that I've been making a video here. But 8 years you've dealt with Biden. 4 years you dealt with Trump. Trump did way more in 1 year than Biden did in 8 years of his time. And what he's promising you is that within 4 more years of his time, that he is going to give you something that apparently he's given, and I guess his 8 years time of whenever he was a vice president. But when you've looked at the statistics, if you look at the boards, he hasn't really given you anything, and he doesn't plan to. He doesn't have any promises set in motion. In the primaries, in the debates, he said a bunch of nothing. A whole lot of nothing. And I've listened to it more than once, mind you, just to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. It was the entire thing was about a bunch of nothing. It's like listening to somebody explain to you why they've pissed the sheets. There's a big stain right there.
And they're the last one that laid on it.
And despite being the last one that laid on it, and obviously the only person that was laying in that bed, you get to listen to this overbearing, made up story as to why they happened. I want people to look at this right quick. because I don't think you understand the weight of this situation. This is disgusting on so many levels. It's almost as if Americans are gluttons for punishment, and I wouldn't want to go as far as to say that unless I seen things happen in such a way, but I'm seeing it happen right now. I think you guys really like to suffer. Then you like to stand in line, wait hours for a vote on somebody who's only going to raise your taxes and promise to do so. It's not like we are saying this out of just confusion. This isn't
He
pretext.
said it, and if he didn't mean it, he didn't deny it.
He said it, and if he didn't mean it, he didn't deny it. You heard the lady in the back. Everyone witnessed it. And I'm sure you, as Democrats, also witnessed that. Unless you think that you're immune to the tax raise. And if that's the case, then that's going to be pretty much enough ammunition to trigger a revolution. And y'all ain't ready for that right now. And I'm not talking about people marching the streets. Now I'm talking about gun versus gun. Because we actually fought for less. And I don't know how people have sustained this degree of tolerance where they decided, no, let's not fight for that anymore because, well, we're in times of peace. Times of peace.
Didn't we also talk about something yesterday? When Obama was in office, how high was the gas?
When Obama was in office, the gas prices went up to at least $3.23. Trump's in office,
Trump is in office.
the gas went down to $1.30.
No, that was during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was during the
I'm talking
pandemic.
about even when he was in office.
Even when he was off, it still went down.
It
Yeah,
was like $1.90 something, $2 top.
it was like 180. 180 at best. So it seems to me that people have it in their mind that paying more means you, as the individual, have more worth.
Because I remember my mom was saying that her gas used to cost her $15 to fill up her tank. Obama got in office, it took $30, so double the amount she used to pay to fill up her tank. She didn't change cars, it was the same exact car. Me, it takes me what, $18, $20 to fill up my tank? Since I got the car?
And it kind of triggers me a bit whenever I see people that understand this situation of how bad things are going right now, and they chose not only not to say anything but to accept it.
Like you said, they're I guess immune to the punishment. They're immune to not, I guess, getting by. So the fact that now they're actually doing pretty well for themselves, they find it to be odd.
So let's go here to this news. I'm not sure what this is, but they're probably going to show the election results tracker live because things apparently aren't even done yet, and they're not sure who's going to get what. Biden is leading by 26 points. Democrats and the GOP are tied in the Senate, but the House looks like it's in the favor of the Democrats. We won't hear the end of it, but at the same time, I don't like where this is going. And it's not just because Trump appears to look like he is going to lose in this instance. No. I don't like where this is going because this is going to show me that people are incapable of fending for themselves. And it shows me that you shouldn't even have the right to vote while you are being this stupid at the same time in the first place. But this is what's happening. You're supposed to do your analysis first. Acknowledge which candidate is the best for you via their policies. That's whenever you give your vote after the fact. It shouldn't be this difficult. People are voting for their own demise, man. I'm actually convinced that if I ran for president and if I ran off of the sole premise of suicide, everyone would do it too. That's what this is looking like. People have to say something about this, especially the ones that have made the decisions to get out there and do something about this situation that's in front of us right now. Because this shouldn't even be close. It shouldn't be close. And it also shouldn't be as rigged as it is right now. And also people were supposed to have a more of a say-so in this than folks that are their so-called government officials. I'm not supposed to hear from your official about what you want. I'm supposed to hear from you. I will never speak to someone else about what you think. That sounds ridiculous. If I had a conversation with you and you told me to ask your mom, we got a problem. We got a problem. Well, I do have to shine light on this situation a bit on you guys, and just in case you think there is no hope for such a people. And that light is that you still have equality to a certain extent. Because remember, that same article of impeachment that they tried to do with Trump. You see, I'm somebody that believes in fairness, and if you believe that making up a random accusation about someone who's shown no evidence of engaging into any of these activities, and because of the fact that you're a woman, and that people believe you automatically, you believe that they were going to listen to you, and you're upset over the fact that no one fell for your ruse. If this is something you can do to one man, then the other team can do it to the other. And there's substantial proof as to why Biden, if he wins, can be impeached. And that's as the title right now. Remember that Biden accepts 9-year-old trannies. A woman asked him a question to see what is he going to do toward her 9-year-old transgendered daughter. Biden said,
that's not even supposed to be in a sexual mindset at all.
a child is not supposed to be in a sexual mindset at all. And you want to know what Biden said about that? He said he'd change the law and make it acceptable.
The same Biden that was feeling on children.
Listen here. Trump has actually done activities to where let's say it this way. He set in motion where if anyone was found child trafficking, they would be arrested on the spot and brought in for justice. He's done this more than any president combined. Biden wants to make children an easier target. I'm going to say it again just in case you missed it the first time. While one man, Trump, is looking to abolish this movement of trafficking children, Biden wants to make them an easier target. Trump sees your child to be a child, and that's exactly where a child's supposed to be. In that place of that child mindset and mentality until they mature to be an adult. And whatever decisions they make is whatever decisions they make as an adult. You're no longer responsible for a full-grown adult. But while they're a child, why subject them to the concept of sexuality before childhood? If you asked that to Biden, he wouldn't know what the answer. He wouldn't know how to answer. He would not know how to answer. That's why I said this should have never been close. And I'm shocked that during the debate, Trump didn't bring that up. He could have. He actually could have. And that would have murdered him. Aside of the, Biden passing the crime law, imprisoning lots of black men for no reason. How about that? The Black Lives Matter claim that he's the best candidate, right? The same group of people who started off with a bunch of black lesbians who wanted to show their tits off in public, calling themselves feminists. That's who the Black Lives Matter initiate came from. A couple lesbians. Now, what do you showing your tits have to do with my black life and why it matters? I don't know. But that's for you guys to decide whether or not this decision is a good one to make. Because that's beyond me. And I'm not going to sit here and listen to somebody tell me that Black Lives Matter while they can't wait to another day happens to come along and then they put somebody else's hair in their head. but Black Lives Matter to you. If a black man upsets you, you're going to call him any label on the face of the planet that is a derogatory term to make sure that you get the point across that you dislike or hate him. But Black Lives Matter. You train your children to raise up from childhood to become abominable, unreasonable, and destructive children. But Black Lives Matter. Unfortunately, a lot of black folks, even at the age of 30, still have not matured to become an adult yet. But Black Lives Matter. Nor can they read yet. But Black Lives Matter. It's the same song and dance. I'm just wondering, when are you guys going to do something about it? And I'm making this video to just be someone beneficial to the mindset that maybe there's something that can happen. Maybe there's something that will change out of this. And maybe people can learn something out of this too. That if you become lazy as much as you are now, you're going to lose your voice. You're gonna lose your voice. And I won't say I'm sorry that it's come to this, because you actually deserved it. You deserve to lose your voice. Now you know how serious this is. While you're running around here saying, no, I don't think my voice matters and I don't really want to stick out for myself and try to make a scene, I just chill and all I do is just relax. How long are you going to do that? Until something catastrophic happens where it determines whether you take a stand or not. Because that's the weakest argument I've heard in ages. Before peace, there has to be war. You got to crush your opponent to make sure they don't rise up and infringe on your freedoms. And you call yourself American. I have never known such a weak people in my life. And weakness makes me sick. I don't want to go any further than this. I'm just going to go ahead and stop it here. I just wanted to say my short say-so and just roll on out. But I want you guys to think about everything I said. And if you view this video, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to share, like, and comment if you want. You can comment in the description box below. In the comment box below, excuse me. The description box, it will be altered later on because I don't feel like getting a description for it right now. I just had to talk about this and make it quick. Because maybe while these places are still too close to call, they could possibly still be voting. You don't know. But maybe my videos can help you have a little bit more insight as to why you should probably pay a lot of attention to these elections. or your local governments. Anyway, my name is Sabby. I'll catch y'all later and have a good day.